What is a true friend? A true friend is someone you can trust. True friends never abandon you. If they have other friends, they come back to you. They are the people who share secrets with you. You feel free around them. They don't make you feel bad at all. True friends tell the truth. If they think you're bad at something, they are honest. Now tonight, don't be honest. Just tell me I'm great. But a true friend would help you become better. They compliment you and believe in you, even when they think someone else is better. You are together forever and always, regardless of distance. In the 15 years I knew Angela, she was all this and more. In the first year of knowing her, I said, you know what, Angela? I don't know why, but I know you and I are going to be friends for the rest of our lives. And we were. We trusted each other, we shared secrets, and always felt free with one another. I'm sure we all have friends that we don't see for months or communicate with for years, or communicate with for months or see for years. And when we see them, it's just like they're part of our daily lives. It's so natural. We just commence where we left off like nothing has ever stopped. In the time I knew Angela, she would push me to become better. I always had a hard time taking compliments. Angela would give me a compliment and I'd look at her and I'd either blush, turn away, whatever, and she would say, Dino, it's very easy to take a compliment. Just look at the person, smile, and say, thank you. Even now that she is not with us, she is making me better. One of my biggest phobias is speaking in front of a large group. Last year, I had the honor of chairing her celebration of life. And now, here I am, emceeing this evening's photo exhibit, Humanity in War. As I look around, I see a person who is always emceeing events, Glenn Coulson. One thing that Glenn does, and I think, wow, this guy's brilliant, is that, you know, to try to take all the focus off of him, he stands up on the stage and he has a very smart, attractive woman at his side, Jennifer Robinson. So nobody's listening to you, Glenn. Nobody's paying attention to you. The focus is gone. So I hope that with all the royalties you guys get off the emceeing events, that Jennifer picks up at least 2/3 of the fees.
Actually, it's like 90%, actually.
Of zero.
I need a better agent.
We have lots of agents here to represent you. Before I introduce the first speaker, I'd like to welcome everybody here this evening. Thank you for attending. We are glad that you are here to support the Red Cross and the Hoyt family. I would now like to invite Melinda Wells to the podium. Melinda is the Director of Humanitarian Issues with the Canadian Red Cross and is based in Ottawa.
It's a pleasure to be here and to be able to represent the Canadian Red Cross, at least from our national office, and all of us who worked with Angela and loved her so much. The hosting of this exhibit by the Hoyt family here in Barrie is so fitting, as Angela would have loved that her two worlds and greatest passions, her family and the humanitarian mandate of the International Committee of the Red Cross, have come together in this way. I had the privilege to work with Angela, and a typical conversation with her ran from her passionately briefing you on a parliamentary debate regarding a violation of international humanitarian law, to more personal conversations about a weekend spent with her parents or her move to Ottawa to be close to her twin sister. Those of you that know that Angela was strong. She was physically strong, she was strong in her opinions, and she was very strong in the skills that she brought to her work. In thinking about speaking to you tonight, I went back through many email exchanges that I had with Angela when we worked together on a range of humanitarian issues. As I think many of you will know, her specialty was public affairs and communications. And for us in the Red Cross, public engagement is such a critical part of the work that we do. We have to find ways to get people to care about what we see as critical humanitarian issues. The Red Cross just cannot address these issues alone, and so we need to get people engaged. And Angela supported us in our communications related to so many issues. It was really quite stunning when I looked at all the different things we'd worked on, how much she got done. And I know that I wasn't the only person she was working with, but During our time together, she supported us on a campaign to ban cluster bombs, which included a large youth engagement component and a postcard campaign. We're still following that issue of cluster munitions today as legislation's being tabled right now in Canada. She supported us on the 10-year anniversary of the Ottawa Treaty to ban landmines. She helped us with all of our communications around the antemortem data collection project, and I know that Dana's here. Dana worked with her very closely on that. That was a project where we went out across Canada meeting with survivors of the Balkans conflict who still had missing loved ones, and talked to them about details about the people that were missing to help bring closure and hopefully some kind of an answer about the people that were missing. She worked with us on the positioning of the Red Cross around the Canadian government's transfer of Afghan detainees, and helped us find the right way to ensure that the Red Cross was never used as an excuse for any state not to take full responsibility for the welfare of the people that it detains. She helped us on outreach on our Restoring Family Links program, which is a program that helps to reconnect families who are separated as a result of conflict. And she also helped us on our public messaging related to our detention monitoring activities with security certificate detainees in Kingston. So this is a range of challenging and sensitive files, and she was brilliant in the work that she did. Her passion for the issues that we worked on was so strong and infectious. It was wonderful to be a part of a team that Angela was on, because you knew that she was going to give it her all. I spoke with a number of my colleagues before coming here today, and I'd like to share with you some of their reflections as well on Angela. The first one is from Pamela Davey, who was Angela's former supervisor when she was at the Canadian Red Cross. And this is what she said. I always appreciated Angela's capacity to be both serious, focused, and articulate while remaining her spirited, driven, and irreverent self. She had a knack for making things seem more immediate, more meaningful, and where appropriate, more fun. Angela and I moved on to other roles within the Red Cross and lived half a world away, but I enjoyed keeping in touch, including through Facebook, reading her regular updates and observations on both the weighty and the ordinary. She would comment on the needs of those affected by devastating floods in Pakistan, or pose the question, did the media coverage of the royal wedding really need to include the hairdresser? I often thought how fortunate it was that such a bright and dedicated woman had chosen to channel her skills and talent to helping those who needed it most in the world. I know what this photo exhibit must have meant to Angela and the possibilities it provides to expand the awareness and stoke similar passion to hers about the impact we can have when we support people affected by conflict. Next, I have a few words from Jody Jeffrey. Jody and Angela were co-workers and also office mates. So Jody said, Angela and I were co-workers who shared adjoining offices, and she made every one of my days at the Red Cross a special one, just by how she greeted me every morning, with a friendly smile, a warm compliment, or jokingly not so warm if I happened to wear something awkward that day, and a 5-minute sit-down to discuss how our weekend had gone. We talked of places we'd visited or dreamed of visiting one day, our love of hard sports, Angela, rugby, Jody, hockey, and our twin siblings. It was in our discussions of family, especially her identical twin sister and my fraternal twin brother, where I think we most connected. Through these chats, I got to know an intelligent, dedicated, and passionate person who loved her family as much as I do. There's no question Angela was easy on the eyes. There's a reason why so many people visited my office. But more importantly, she was a person who wore her heart on her sleeve. I admired her for that. I will carry a piece of her with me forever. She made the workplace a home for many of us, a place you wanted to go back to every morning just because of how she helped start your day. In short, she will always come to my mind when I say the words, those were the days. Last, I have one more contribution from Katie Callio, who was a colleague of Angela's on the public affairs team. And Katie said, I had the privilege of working with Angela on the communications team for almost a year. Fresh out of school, I remember I was so nervous my first day, and Angela welcomed me to the team with a big smile and a warm hug. I admired Angela not only for her skills as a communicator, but for how she used her gift to give a voice to those who otherwise would go unheard, and how she never backed down from something she believed in. Angela was a friend and a mentor, and I will forever be grateful to her for the things that I learned that year, lessons I carry with me today. I think of her each time there's a crisis in the world that goes unnoticed, and it reminds me of my duty to be the voice for those who do not have one, just as Angela always did. So I know tonight is inspired by Angela's unforgettable spirit, of her efforts to highlight unforgettable events that happen in the world and why we should care. I'm grateful to Angela for sharing the gifts of humanity, passion, intellect, and laughter, and to the Hoyt family and to the ICRC for sharing that same spirit in the form of this exhibit this evening. Thank you.
This evening, we also have Angela's boss of 2 years and a co-worker of 7 years, Jeff Lone, joining us. I've had the privilege of meeting Jeff and I guess his boss, Sir Nicholas Young, and many of the other people that Angela worked with over in London, England, about a month ago. I must say they're not only a great group of people, they work effortlessly and at substantial risk to provide assistance in times of war and even times of disaster. Been amazing, supportive friends to Angela's parents, Barbara and Dwight, and Angela's twin sister, Amy. I would now like to welcome Jeff, the head of mission for the International Committee of the Red Cross, and thank him. Jeff arrived here last night from London, and he leaves tomorrow to fly to Geneva for a meeting Monday morning, and he came over just for this evening. So we appreciate that, Jeff.
Thank you very much, Dino. And I arrived last night, and I think I had a chat with Barb and Dwight and Amy, and they all said to me at one point in the conversation, they said, you know, Angela thought that she had the greatest job in the world and that she adored her job. And I've been thinking about that pretty much since we had the conversation, because it's been a privilege to work with Angela. It's been a privilege to share that work, and I'm here tonight. I'm here tonight on behalf of my team, my colleagues, Angela's team, the world that Angela knew, the world that she knew professionally, and to share that with you. And it's a very, very special occasion to be surrounded by these photographs and this work that was Angela and that was how we knew her, and to be able to share that together with you and to be part of that with you. It makes me feel very proud and very humbled. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the photographs and the exhibition and how this all came together. Photography and the Red Cross both date from the middle of the 19th century. So we've kind of got a shared history. And in the Red Cross, in our part of the Red Cross, it's very difficult to take photographs because it concerns the dignity of people, and it concerns the lack of dignity and the erosion of dignity and the humiliation of people caught up in armed conflict. So actually we're not allowed to take photographs, but we do have an archive. We have an archive of about 100,000 photographs. They are available publicly, and we decided a number of years ago that we wanted to share this archive in the form of this exhibition, Humanity in War, and we wanted to do it for a number of reasons. We wanted to have a visual record of the work of the International Red Cross in conflict. We wanted to be able to share that. We wanted to be able to communicate it with people. We wanted people to see, what does it mean to work in conflict? What does it mean to have to deal with the everyday problems that war brings? And this exhibition that you see here today is our contribution to sharing with you what war means and what it means for our work. And I can absolutely assure you that when you are, and quite a number of these photographs are places I've been and I know them well, and it's when you have the privilege to be able to work in those situations, it brings an incredible satisfaction and joy and pleasure. And Angela, that was Angela's world. That was her life. That's what she gave herself to, and I think that's what she adored, and that's what we adored in having her as part of our team fighting for this. It is a paradox. How do you bring humanity to war? How do you manage to introduce that notion of human care in a situation that is so violent? And most of us, probably in the last 2 or 3 generations of our families, have relatives who've died in war, fought in war, suffered in war, been